What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It is officially draft week. And I am coming out here with my last Steelers 7 round mock draft. I am recording this on Sunday night. It will not drop until Tuesday, though. So if a move happens between now and Tuesday afternoon when this drops, I am sorry for that. Um, but I'm putting out 3 videos this week. I am going to do this Steelers 7 round mock draft on Tuesday. I actually haven't recorded it yet. I'm recording it after this one, but I on Monday, so tomorrow, uh, which is funny that I'm recording these in opposite order of how I'm dropping them. I will drop my final full first round non-predictive what I would do it. I might actually do 2 rounds now that I'm thinking about it. But last night we had some big news. Dexter Lawrence traded to the Cincinnati Bengals for pick number 10. But however, that is not going to affect our draft here. This is this last Steelers 7 round mock draft. If you don't know it, I'm a Steelers fan. Welcome to the channel if you've never been here before. Go check out my other ones. I have my official final draft list for the Steelers. If you've never been here before, I have 4 categories that I do in my final list, and that is need, can upgrade, prep, and depth. Obviously, depth is just, hey, I think that maybe, later, those fifth, sixth, maybe even the 7th round pick, draft a guy at that position just to get an extra guy in the room. Prep is a combination of things. Prep can be this guy might have requested a trade. For example, the Giants list, I had IDL in the prep category, but now that they have traded Dexter Lawrence, it is now in the need category. And these positions can be doubled up in multiple spots due to multiple different reasons. Prep also can mean, a guy at that spot is getting older. Um, or they are an impending free agent after this upcoming season. Then I have can upgrade. That just kind of means like, hey, I think you have a guy that is somewhat serviceable or guys that are somewhat serviceable at this position, but you might could need more, or you could take somebody to, really upgrade that room or raise the ceiling. And then need is kind of like, hey, you should probably look at this within your first 2 to 3 picks, if not your first pick. So, with that being said, we're going to get right into it. The Steelers have not made any free agency moves since my last video that I am aware of, at least, or that matter. Um, so yeah, let's get right into it. Um, oh, I didn't even say my needs list. I'm sorry. That is my bad. Wow, interesting. Hello, Omar Cooper Jr. at 19. Okay. I like Emmanuel McNair. Dang, VEGA IOANE went at 15. Okay. Wow, Arvell Reese falls to 5. Sonny Styles goes 2. Okay. Interesting. So, interesting draft board up to this point for us. Here is my list. Need. My one need for the Pittsburgh Steelers is left guard. My can upgrade is left tackle and linebacker. And then a huge prep category here. We have tackle, guard, tight end. Well, kind of more of a backup tight end, though. And I'll talk about this more, but I really don't think we need a prep for tight end at all. But yeah. IDL, edge, and secondary, and then depth pieces could be used at wide receiver, linebacker, and corner. Here's my reasonings and why. Left guard, I think they need a true starter there. I just think Spencer Anderson and Brock Hoffman are projected to be one of the starters. And I just think that we can do better than that. I really, really, really would love VEGA IOANE, and I'm actually going to explore a scenario here in a little bit for that. But also on top of that, Anderson and Hoffman are both projected impending free agents in 2027. Can upgrade. I just think Roger Jones has lived up to expectations, and I don't know if Dylan Cook can kind of replicate that same production that he gave us at the end of the year last year. Plus, they are both impending free agents. Linebacker, I just think Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson haven't really been what you expected them to be so far. They've shown flashes, obviously, but yeah, and then Malik Harrison, really only gives you run support. And then Cole Holcomb hasn't been the same since his big injury that he had a few years ago. Plus, Patrick Queen and Malik Harrison are both impending free agents. Prep, tackle guard, kinds of reasons listed above. Like right now, your two guys that are projected to potentially start at those positions are impending free agents. Tight end, Darnell Washington's an impending free agent, but I really like he's a guy that I think we 100% will end up giving a second contract to. Um, IDL, I have in the prep category because Keanu Benton is an impending free agent, and obviously Cam Hayward is getting older. Derek Harmon missed some time last year as well due to some injuries. So, those are your three guys there, as well as Sebastian Joseph Day, who you brought in. Edge rusher, TJ Watt has been a little injury riddled. Plus, I feel like his production has started to drop off a little bit. Obviously, that's kind of more due to age than anything. And that's the other thing. He is getting older. And then also, there's just been this new trade rumor out that we are expected to deal one of Alex Highsmith or Nick Herbig during the draft or before the draft, which I don't know how true that is, but I mean, little bit of a grain of salt there at least. Plus, both those guys have also battled injuries. And then the secondary one, some of the guys are a little older. Jamel Dean's a little older. Jalen Ramsey's a little older. Darnell Savage, who we brought in as a backup safety, is a little older. But then also on top of that, uh, Joe Porter Jr., Jaquan Brisker, Brandon Eccles, Darnell Savage, and Asante Samuel are all free agents going into next offseason as well. And then depth piece outside of DK and Michael Pittman Jr., there's little to no experience or production in that wide receiver room. And then interior backer, like I said, like I just think you can bring in extra depth there. Um, and then I have corner more so nickel than anything listed as a depth piece, just because if as of right now, if Brandon Eccles was to get hurt, Dante Kent, who is a seventh round pick for us out of Central Michigan, would be our nickel, or at least according to the depth chart. I do think that we would find a way to make that not happen. Um, but yeah, that's also like a just in case thing. So sitting here on the board, I see Monroe Freeling sitting here, and he just makes me nervous. I think rightfully so, due to the Broderick Jones being a Georgia tackle. Um, I'm not super high on Freeling as most. I have Freeling more in this like I would be comfortable taking him more in this back end of the first round area, and I guess you could argue we're in the back end of the first round, but I don't know. In my opinion personally, I know this is a hot take and not a lot of people would agree with this, but like I would have rather Emmanuel Pregnon at 21 than Monroe Freeling, to be honest. I see CJ Allen sitting here, which makes me tempted as well. I just don't know how much he raises the ceiling. He's kind of like a floor raiser in a linebacker room, but not so much a ceiling raiser. I see Blake Miller. I think Blake Miller's probably. I think Blake Miller or Caden Proctor is probably the most likely options here. I could see the argument for Casey Concepcion. I wouldn't mind one of these IDL guys, to be honest. I really wouldn't. But I think Caden Proctor, Blake Miller, CJ Allen are like my three favorite guys on the board here. I think I like Freeling a little bit better than Caden Proctor, but I think Caden Proctor is a guard, so it's kind of like a different story there. Manuel Pregnon's probably my best player on the board outside of Akeem Mesidor, though. And TJ Parker and Peter Woods, I bet, actually. This is a tough pick, man. I 100% understand the argument for Monroe Freeling here. I'm gonna I'm gonna take Monroe Freeling. I'll take Monroe Freeling for scenario reasons. Okay, at pick 53, I really just think that this has to be like, is Keelan Rutledge here? He is. But like, pick off the line of the first round, and you're picking it in the second. Like Jake Golday's here. Here's my argument here is that like I think you can get a guy like Jalen Farmer or Billy Schroff or Bo Stevens later. Like I would rather like in this scenario, okay, hey, we got Monroe Freeling. He's probably gonna start at left tackle. We can get a guard later down the road. And I think you take Jake Golday. I think you take Jake Golday. I wouldn't mind Kyle Lewis here either. I'm gonna take Jake Golday. I'm gonna take Jake Golday at 53. I see Grayson Halton and Dominique Orange off rip. I think if you've been around here, you know I like Romello Height. Kyle Lewis is still here. This is a really tough draft for the Steelers this year, but I think Dominique Orange, or do we wait and we take Daryl Jackson Jr.? Daryl Jackson Jr. is gone. Rayshawn Benny's here as well. I actually wouldn't mind him later. Romello Height, man, is just my best player on the board. So it's like him and Kyle Lewis and Connor Lew, but like we don't need a center. This is such a tough draft for the Steelers, man, especially in this simulator. I don't mind Dominique Orange. Dude, Romello Height, though. I can't get off of Romello Height, especially if we trade Highsmith or Herbig or TJ. I wouldn't necessarily say he's not safe from being traded either. I really don't mind that because like he's the last edge rusher where I'm like, yes, starter potential. Like there's a bunch of guys down here that I think could provide good depth. Maybe okay, so maybe that's the move here. Maybe we take Dominique Orange, maybe we take Big Citrus from Iowa State. Or do we double up a linebacker or do we take Kamari Ramsey? I don't I would rather take a corner, I think, than a safety. Mellow Height, like I said, he's my best. I'm gonna double up on linebacker. I'm gonna double up on linebacker with Kyle Lewis. And then I see Dalen Everett's here. I see Rayshawn Benny just really attack the defense, huh? Because these receivers that I like the most, I can get later. Take Dalen Everett or Rayshawn Benny. What do we think here? Dalen Everett or Rayshawn Benny? Or do we get on here and take like Genesis Smith? I think we can wait. I definitely think Dalen Everett's gone by 99. I think Rayshawn Benny is too. Here's the thing about corner is like I like Malik Muhammad. I'm fine with Kilgore, but he's kind of more of that nickel. I think he's gonna go a lot earlier than this, though, to be honest. I think Kilgore goes like top 75, to be honest. We can get one of those safeties I like down the board, like Bud Clark or somebody. Rayshawn Benny and Dante Coulion, Xavier Harris. I'm gonna take Rayshawn Benny out of Michigan. Pick 99. Take Malik Muhammad. He's more of an outside guy, but I was talking about needing a nickel. I wonder if we can get Kilgore at 121 due to the simulator. Yeah, I think that's a move. I'm going to take Malik Muhammad here. And if we don't get Jalen Kilgore, then we don't get Jalen Kilgore. Still going to be here, though. Look at that. He is. But I like Bud Clark. I like Bud Clark. I love Bud Clark, actually. We're going to take Bud Clark. Sorry, Jalen Kilgore. Okay, so let's update here. All right. We doubled down at linebacker. We took a corner, we took a safety, and we've taken an IDL. We also took a tackle. Is this where we go get one of these guards, or are they all gone? They're all gone. But see, like, here's the thing, dude. Like, we could have took Bo Stevens instead of Bud Clark. When did Billy Stroff went way earlier? Like I said, I think you just punt. I think you just punt. I think you just punt it. Is this Carson? Is this a Carson Beck pick? Wow, Carson Beck's gone. He went to see like that's so unrealistic. They're like, bro, I'm sorry, but like New Orleans is not taking Carson Beck at 132. I've seen that we've been interested in Carson Beck, Drew Aller, or Garrett Nussmeier in the fourth round. So that's probably actually the pick at 121, to be honest, is probably a quarterback. And I see Nussmeier and Aller had both went off the board, so it's probably actually Carson Beck there. I just don't think we'd been able to get Bud Clark here at 135. Okay, let's log back in here. I see JC Davis, but like we already took Freeling. Like, is it Namde Tucker? I, 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 I think at that point you wait for Caden Curry at like 161. This is such a tough draft, bro. Is this a receiver? Is this Cyrus Allen's big though? Or no, he's not. Is Jeff Caldwell the one that's big? Jeff Caldwell's the one that's big, isn't he? Yeah, he's 6'5", 15. I keep on getting Caldwell and Cyrus Allen confused. I love Kevin Coleman Jr., dude. I think he fits in. I think he fits into what we could need. I think he fits into what we could need. And I think take Caden Curry at 161. I think that's easy. Him or Contavious Hutchins. And then these last few picks, man, like if you stuck around my last one, like I think this is easy. Like I think you take a quarterback with one of these two if you don't take one earlier. So like we're gonna do that. I think we could go grab a guard if there's anybody that I like. Like, okay, you take Taylor Green, you take Micah Morris. Yeah, I saw a by the way, I saw a video where Micah Morris went like 60th the other day, and I was like, "Ooh, ooh, what? Oh, we can go get Caden Wetjen. Could use a little special teamer guy. And then do we take a tight end maybe? Just add to the ever-ending tight end room. There's nobody I like. There is nobody I like there. Vontae Smith. Dude, all these are literally just like quarterbacks and receivers. Uh, is there anybody I like? Keyshawn James newbie, welcome to the squad, baby, from New Mexico. The Simulator's gonna hate those last four picks. I just know it. All right, so last video I did serial seven round mock draft. I didn't want to bore everybody for 7 rounds 3 times in a row. So these next two, I'm only gonna do 5. Especially because those last 7 picks were pointless, I feel like. But Simulator, absolute wow. Bottom 27%. That might be the lowest I've ever got. Simulator absolutely hates it. I don't mind it. Monroe Fielding's your starting left tackle for the next 5 years. Jake Golday and Kyle Lewis provide two different types of linebacker play, in my opinion. Kyle Lewis is athletic, playmaker, going to get the ball. Jake Golday is just going to be like that field general, right? I don't mind that at all. That gives you the option too to like post June 1st cut Patrick Queen, or you can trade Patrick Queen. Um, and then you've got Golday, Lewis, Wilson, Harrison for this year, and then he's gone, and Holcomb. Rayshawn Benny's a depth piece. He's a depth piece. Potentially even sees an increased role if Keanu Benton leaves after this year. Malik Muhammad's obviously a depth piece as well. Same with Bud Clark. But I think like these 3 guys, right? These 4 guys, these five in a row right here of Rayshawn Benny, Malik Muhammad, Bud Clark, Kevin Coleman Jr., and Caden Curry are guys that I don't necessarily say they make an impact in 2026, but they could in 2027. Now, granted, no injuries occur, or say, granted, injuries occur. I think all 5 of them could make an impact in 2027. Matter of fact, I think Kevin Coleman Jr. could be your wide receiver 3 in week 1. Like, that's how high I am on Kevin Coleman Jr. Like, I would have him ranked higher than Roman Wilson if they were in the same draft class. And then these 4 picks is just like, super depth piece, depth quarterback, and special teams return guy right here. So that's mock draft 1. Let's see what the simulator gives us here in mock draft 2. I just clicked all teams for 5 rounds. Absolutely not Steelers for 5 rounds. That'll work. See what the simulator gives us. McCoy. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. Like, yo, if Jermon McCoy's on the board at 21, like, we might just have to take him. We might just have to take Jermon McCoy if he's on the board at 21. Do I do the little? Do I do the Caden? I'm gonna do. You know what? I might do more than three mock drafts. Like that's how many scenarios can really play out here. I'm gonna do the whole Omar Cooper Jr. scenario again, like I did last video. We'll take Omar Cooper Jr. We'll take him. We'll take him at 21. Gabe Yakis is here. Still don't mind Keontae Scott. We're gonna skip out on Jake Golday this time. We're gonna go Jennings Dunker. I think he can play tackle, but I really think he'll be a guard. That's probably your starting left guard, to be honest. Oh man, there's Branch. Dale Jackson Jr. makes it to us this time, but Kyle Lewis is here. And I think there's IDL guys that you can get. Plus, I think linebackers more of a need. I'm gonna go ahead and take. I'm gonna take Chandler Rivers this time around at 85. We're gonna take. No, we'll take a quarterback at 121 if one of the guys are there, but I'm not gonna take one here. Actually, yeah, I might. Unless I take Genesis Smith, but like, eh. I'm down to take Dante Corleone here. Carson Beck's right on top of the board. That's the pick at 121. 135 is going to be, do we take Jude Bowery here? I like JC Davis better. I'm sorry. Okay. So we took Omar Cooper Jr. We took Jennings Dunker. So it took a tackle, it took a guard, took a linebacker, took a corner, took an IDL. So this is edge rusher or safety, I guess, right? And who's on the board? Caleb Elarms or is there. Michael Taft's there. I think this is probably just Michael Taft, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be Michael Taft out of Texas. So there's that scenario. There's the Omar Cooper Jr. scenario. So we've went the Monroe Freeling. Granted, he gets there to us. I don't think he will, but did that scenario again. Simulator's going to continue to hate my drafts because they don't have the same needs as I like. They have running back listed as a need. No, no, or maybe they don't anymore. They used to though. So this was Omar Cooper Jr., Jennings Dunker. So like there's your wide receiver three easy. Maybe maybe better. There's your starting left guard, in my opinion. Maybe your starting left tackle, who knows? There's your linebacker step in the room immediately. There's a depth piece at corner. There's a depth IDL. There's Carson Banks, and supposedly we're gonna take him, supposedly. There's JC Davis, potential starting future tackle, and there's Michael Taft, safety depth piece, potential future starter. Okay, that's the Omar Cooper Jr. scenario. We did the Monroe Freeling the tackle. We'll call the Monroe Freeling the tackle scenario. Here's the CJ Allen scenario. Take CJ Allen at 21. At 53, Malachi Lawrence is interesting to me, but that would have to be like a for sure we've traded our guys. Is this good? We're gonna play scenarios here. We're gonna go Skylar Bell, wide receiver three. I think he's a good fit for us. Igbenogsen's here. He's just best player on the board, man. I gotta take him. I gotta take Igbenogsen if he's there. Is this Jalen Farmer? This is Jalen Farmer. Okay. This is. We won't risk Carson Beck being there at 121 this time. We're gonna take Nussmeier earlier at 99. At 121, oh, of course, Carson Beck. Took a linebacker, took a corner, took a guard. It's just Landon Robinson. I like Landon Robinson. Is this Jalen Kilgore? This Jude Bowery? No, we can get one of those tackles. Next spot. It's Landon Robinson. Carson Beck's still there. 135, huh? JC Davis. Again. And Mm, too early, probably. Actually, I don't mind that. I don't mind Caden Curry at 161, to be honest. It's good value. I'm gonna do something else though. I'm gonna be different this time. I'm gonna take Caleb Alarms or on TCU. So that is a CJ Allen scenario. So you draft CJ Allen at 21. CJ Allen is boom, like potentially like one of your best linebackers off rip. Skylar Bell is your wide receiver three. Davison Igbinosun is like he's knocking on the door. He Davison Igbinosun, he is penalty prone. I do like him. I think he's good. I think he has starter potential. I don't think he fits in with our team due to that we already like he's one of those guys where I think like you need a starting corner, you're gonna take him. I don't think he gets to us at 76 either. I but like he's one of those where it's like if he impresses you so much, like Joey Porter Jr. is asking for too money, like he's gone. He's asking for too much money, he's gone. Jalen Farmer, I don't I like Jalen Farmer, but I don't like him as much as other people. But like, hey, it's a need. Let's go get him. Nussmeier, it's self-explanatory. Landon Robinson, depth piece, JC Davis again. I've mentioned it before, potential future starter, and then Elarms, or it's just kind of like athletic linebacker. All right. So we did the tackle scenario. We did all the scenarios I wanted to do to this point. I'm doing two more. We're doing 5 mock drafts today, baby. Emmanuel Pregnon at 21. Actually, no. You know what? I've got a better idea. Let's trade back. Let's trade back and take Pregnon. The only problem is I feel like 35's too far back. Okay, who's on the board that somebody would come up for? McNeil Warren, Omar Cooper, you guys. What if Buffalo was willing to come up for like one of these edge rushers? I know that that's not listed as a need, but I think it's one. Would that get it done? No, they don't like that. All right, you give us pick 91, and we give you 161. All right. Okay, I don't have the value chart pulled up, but we'll trade 161 and 21 for 26 and 91. It's a semester pick in this part of the video. You take Emmanuel Pregnon. I think Caden Proctor is also being played there. This is the guard scenario. It's the guard scenario. All right, pick 53. Dude, R. Mason Thomas just sitting here is interesting, but I want to try to play with scenarios here, man. But I am going to take Jay Golday. I know I've done that already before. We're going to take him. Pick 76. Nosen's there again. I'm going to do it for scenario purposes. We're going to take Romello Height. Haven't taken him yet. I've mentioned him. Dude, Anthony Hill Jr. is still here. We're going to double up on linebacker again with Anthony Hill Jr. Get this extra pick here. 91. I take. No, we're not going to take that first. Take Genesis Smith this time around. Pick 99. We'll do it. I refuse to draft Drew Aller, so we're not drafting him. What about Markel Bell? I know people mention him as like a starting potential tackle, but I don't like him that much. But we'll do it for scenarios. There's Carson Beck. So we got us an edge rusher, a linebacker, 2 linebackers, a safety, a tackle, a guard, a quarterback, and see Jalen Kilgore is there. We'll go get Kevin Coleman Jr. again. So there's that draft. That is the guard scenario. And then we're going to do one more that I really wanted to do here. Matter of fact, we might do 6 mock drafts, dog. We might make this video just an hour, just mock drafts on mock drafts for the Steelers. Um, Again, I feel like I don't need to explain myself too much here now that we've done so many. We trade back 5 spots. We take Emmanuel Pregnon. We get Jake Golday. We get Romello Height. We get Anthony Hill. We get Genesis Smith. We get Markel Bell. Get Carson Beck. Get Kevin Coleman Jr. Bottom 24%. See if we can get lower than that since the simulator is hating us. This is the scenario I really wanted to get to. we're trading up. The Pittsburgh Steelers on draft night in their own city are going to trade up. We're going to trade up with the Los Angeles Rams. We're going to trade. Let me get the NFL trade drafting chart. All right, what do we need to make up here? 21 to 13. We got to make up. Oh, geez, 350. I mean, how much is 53 is 370? And then, like, you give us, like, they have nothing. You give us, like, a future fourth. Big trade. Steelers have traded up. They received a 2027 fourth round pick and pick 13 for pick 21 and pick 53. And they are going to take VEGA IOANE out of Penn State there. Listen, man, I'm fine with that. I am fine with that. And here's the reason why I traded up to where I traded up to do that is I think VEGA IOANE's like real scenario landing spot starts here at 10. I really do. I really think that they could take him at 11, Miami. I really think that Baltimore or Tampa Bay could take him at 14 or 15. Here's kind of like my philosophy here though. If he is on the board at 15 with Tampa Bay up and Tampa Bay's willing to trade back, you have to go get him. You have to. But we're going to trade up to 13 and take him there. Who did the Rams take at 21? Caden Proctor. Nice. All right, so we are here at pick 67. Oh, sorry, 76 now. I said that backwards. Oh gosh, and I just said 6'7". Oh gosh. I think you would wait for Anthony Hill. And then Keelan Rutledge is here on the board at 76. Nice. Nice. Of course. No, like the first time all video. We'll take Daryl Jackson Jr. this time around, right? Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Daryl Jackson Jr. Anthony Hill stay on the board? Nope. Fine now. I'm just good on these linebackers. Like I'd rather take Torrey York like back here somewhere. Is it Chandler Rivers again? It's probably just Chandler Rivers again, right? Yeah. Take Chandler Rivers. We'll take Garrett Nussmeier. Man, none of these receivers are lasting to us. I discussed Jalen Kilgore earlier as a potential pick. We'll take him. He's a nickel, though. Chandler Rivers is kind of more outside. Dude, and like we do this trade up, and then all these guys that we could have taken in other drafts that haven't been here are here now, and we don't need them, of course. So we got us a guard, got us a linebacker, got us an IDL, got us a corner and a nickel, and a quarterback, and we'll round it out again with Kevin Coleman Jr. So I like this one. I like this one a lot. Go up and get VEGA IOANE. Yes, you give up your second round pick, but that's fine with me. Get Daryl Jackson Jr., get Torrey York, get Jalen Kilgore, you get Chandler Rivers, you get Garrett Nussmeier, get Kevin Coleman Jr. And last but not least, why not? One more. We'll go 3 rounds this time. We'll go 3 rounds this time. The scenarios of all scenarios that I don't want to happen in real life. Welcome to Pittsburgh, Ty Simpson at pick 21. Oh my goodness. There's that. Oh my goodness, Chris Bell here. Nah, we'll take Jennings Dunker. Take Jennings Dunker. We'll take Zachariah Branch. We will take. Ooh. We will take Rayshawn Benny. And then this is the simulator's gonna hate this, but like I've got him ranked this high. We'll take Torrey York. There's the Ty Simpson scenario, and that will do it for the video. Um, yeah, man, I'm excited for the draft this week. Really, really excited. Really excited to see what the Steelers do. Hopefully it's not this. Hopefully it's not that. Hopefully it's trading up for VEGA IOANE, as long as it doesn't take too much, at least. But yeah, man, bottom 22%, by the way. We should just name this video trying to get the lowest percentage of mock draft for the Steelers and PFF. But yeah, man, appreciate the video. Appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate the love, and we will see y'all next time. Peace.